I don't do for sure. Boom! Marcus with 225 numbers after the name. A little Marcus with friends action over here, man. Rolling with the captain, rolling with the crew. Y'all already know how he's doing. 2-1 on the cook-off. Unfortunately, some audio issues over here when we recorded this back in the day. Go back and do it, I guess, if we want to all over again. Might think about that for like next week's episode, but I don't know. You know, there's kind of a difference between like putting up the live com and not putting it up and putting up the original audio and that kind of stuff. So unfortunately, that kind of worked out. My computer was like on its ends. Like by the point of there, I was kind of surprised it was even working. Period. So the big thing about this and the big thing about most of these kind of first stages that they give you to me is that it's, and I kind of skipped over this whole part because I didn't want to make this video 50 minutes long. It's the preamble part, right? Until you serve something, nothing ticks off, so you could kind of have everything rolling without it. It kind of leads to us even playing like sloppier than normal because we don't need to like really compete on it. I mean, look, we don't even got like stuff going right now. We're kind of just trying to figure out like who's doing who and what's doing what. Whereas, you know, if we were like really needing to, I'm thinking I would be a little bit cleaner over there. So I don't know. I'm always a little bit torn by that. I kind of get it because it's your first time doing it and you kind of want to figure it out and you want to give everybody an ability to kind of do it. But you also kind of figure things out just by like losing and getting better at it. And I don't know. I don't know if we really needed this whole like let's wait a couple like hours over here before we actually start like the whole thing popping. Outside of that, there really isn't too much complexity here as to what's happened over here. You gotta see, man. There's a lot of sausage, a lot of bacon, a lot of eggs being pumped out over here. It's, you know, it's a breakfast situation that we got going on right now. And solid rotation over here kind of going in. We could do a little bit better. We could do a little bit of cleaner and whatnot. I will say the one thing they do take into account oftentimes when you kind of do this is you'll think that you have like so much extra score and be like, oh man, this is like so easy. Like this is way too much, blah, blah, blah. And then you'll kind of notice you cut it like a lot closer than you ever expected it. You're like, oh, hold up, man. I thought I had like a substantial lead. I was like, what's going on over here? And I don't even remember if this is the case over here. We'll see at the end of the video. Teaser right there. But sometimes, yeah, sometimes you'll be like, man, we probably blew that out by like 6,000, dude. And then you'll be like, well, we just got it. Like, so maybe the game does anticipate the fact that you like kind of build it up that way. I don't think so. I don't think it's the intention of the people making the game to put it that way. But yeah, you never know over here, man. What is cool about the Campfire DLC, and I kind of forgot about bringing this up, is so I have Overcooked 2 through Game Pass, actually. And I think I bought it on the Switch, if memory serves me right. But I have it on Game Pass. But I don't have the DLC. That you actually have to buy. But as long as somebody in the party has the DLC, you can kind of play it. And that's like just something newer-ish in games these days. You know, back in the day, like, I mean, I remember the most extreme case was World at War. And I'm sure other online games were doing it at the time too. World at War, Call of Duty game. You could be in a party with somebody, and if they didn't have the DLC map, they would just get kicked out of the game. Like the game was starting, they'd be like, "Nah, you ain't a part of this," and like keep it moving. That's like a very extreme case. I think what they used to do for like Black Ops 1 and stuff like that. They put a little note there, being like, "Hey, you don't have this DLC, so therefore you're not like a part of this." So, you know, take into account for that. So it's kind of cool that we got to this point where like, hey man, you bought the DLC, you play with friends. I'm not even sure how much that works as a business model, but it does add positivity. It does add me like talking about it right here. And at the end of the day, somebody did buy it. Like one person on the thing did buy it, so you got their money. And Overcooked's such a multiplayer game that maybe it is in your best interest to kind of, you know, whatever. As long as somebody got it, as long as somebody could play it, as long as somebody paid for it, you're good. There you go, man. $12.50.